up, everybody? It's another week of Will's Take on Sports. I'm the host, Will Walker. I want to thank you for joining me live here on Spreaker.com. Whether you're listening on the website or the mobile app, I really appreciate it. Also, all shows are on so many different platforms across the internet that you can listen to the show. You can listen to the show on Spotify. You can listen to the show on a TuneIn app, Google Play Podcast for Android users, iTunes for the Apple users, also iHeartRadio, Stitcher. It's just so many different ways that you can listen to this show. Again, I really want to appreciate all the downloads that I've been receiving over the last couple of episodes. Really appreciate it. All right, this is season 6, episode 4. This podcast, this is just simply Will's Take on Sports. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts of what's been going on in sports, some of the latest events. Just my take, just my thoughts. That's all it is. Nothing elaborate. Nothing I'm going to, nothing earth-shattering, nothing news-breaking. Rather, I'm just going to give you my opinion about some of the things that's been going on in sports. And one of the things that's been going on in sports, you can't get away from it. If you're a sports fan, it's all over any sports network. It's all over the 4-letter, whatever. It's just all over the place. This Antonio Brown situation, the allegations that was brought against him in regards to his former trainer. She alleged that there were 3 separate incidents where Antonio Brown violated her. Everybody's due their day in court. Antonio Brown, even though he acted like a complete just idiot out there in Oakland with his antics and the things that he did, he still due his day in court. Here's my issue with this entire situation. All right. I ain't saying this young lady wrong. I'm not really trying to prick a side. My whole thing is you wait till the week you get married to do this. I don't that's the thing that I don't get. I'm not saying it didn't happen. All I'm saying is you wait till the week you get married to do this. If it's your boy that's on this mic right now, if it's me, oh heck no, we'd have some problems. We have some problems. I'm trying to tell you. We just have some problems because I'm pretty sure they discussed this already. There was, I'm pretty sure she had to tell him in the case of being up front, about things or being transparent about things that go on in your life before you met me or whatever the situation is. You're getting married, so you definitely want to be transparent with your future partner. So I'm going to just take into account that they had that conversation, but. You wait till the week we get married to do this? I'm not saying that he's wrong for supporting her. That would be my question. That would be mine. Why this week? Couldn't did this no other time? That's just for me. But anyway, Antonio Brown's due his day in court and all that. But that's my take on that whole situation. I'm not here. I'm not going to get into whether he did it or whatever. I read the story on the internet or whatever, and it is what it is. From what she described, some very disturbing things about that boy Antonio Brown that he did. Then his reaction to some of the things she said. I do know this much. Drew Rosenhaus looked like a complete idiot trying to explain Antonio's side or trying to defend Antonio. He should have just shut up. He should have just simply said, we take the allegations very serious. Antonio Brown denies it, and that's it. All that other crazy stuff that he added to it wasn't necessary. But anyway, I'm moving on from that. Let me get into sports, what happened in sports. Again, Serena Williams, she made the U.S. Open final last week, and, she made it, and she lost again. This is the 4th straight time she's lost. She lost to a young 19-year-old girl. I'm not going to butcher her name. But I got to say this. What Serena is doing at the age of 37 is just absolutely remarkable. For me, Serena is probably she is definitely the greatest female athlete of all time. I don't think there's any debate in that. It's got to be Serena's the greatest female athlete. And I think regardless of gender, she's probably one of the top athletes in this millennial era. I think you can definitely put her up there with LeBron and Tom Brady, Tiger. I definitely think she's up in that area. I mean, she's an outstanding athlete, and she's 37 years old, and she keeps making these finals. I mean, she hasn't won since 2006, 2017 Australia Open, but she's just so remarkable. She even came back after she had a baby and made a final. So, I mean, she just keeps really having these incredible feats. She's not finishing, getting over the finish line, if that's what you would consider winning a major. But for me, the fact that she's 37 playing tennis at that high of a level, when most of the time they don't play that long. They usually play about early 30s, and at a sustained high level as far as women's tennis, as far as I can remember. I can't remember anybody playing women's tennis at that age, at that top level like Serena, and still competing for majors and things of that nature. And she is. So to me, it's still a major accomplishment what she's able to do. And she gave birth and she got married, and that girl is still that lady is still, I guess you can say, I don't know what the rankings say and those type of things, but she's still, without a doubt, one of the top female players in the world, even at her age, at her advanced age for sports, because we think 37 is all sports. All right, let me turn my attention to USA basketball. Now, USA basketball has lost a couple of games to a couple of teams. Sorry, my phone was ringing in the middle of this. But USA has lost a couple of games here in this past week. They lost to France. They lost to Serbia today. France pretty much said that loss to France said that the USA will not medal, not even a bronze medal or whatever. So, and everybody's like, oh, we should never lose with NBA players and all these type of things. Well, the other teams have NBA players on there also. They may not have as many as the U.S., but they got some quality some quality NBA players on that team. France has Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is one of the better shot blocking, rebounding big men in the NBA. Nicholas Batum is on that team. He's an outstanding wing defender. I mean, this man's been on several teams because of his defense on the wings, and he can also shoot the ball from the outside. Evan Fournier is on that team. He's an Orlando Magic swing man who can shoot from the outside, and of course Frank Ntilikina, who had an outstanding game against the U.S. in the fourth quarter. From the highlights I seen, I didn't actually watch it, but they got some talented guys on that France team. So to me, that really isn't that big a shock or an upset in my mind, considering who was on the U.S. roster. For those of you who don't know, and probably was not even following the basketball World Cup, I think that's what it's called, over in China, the USA sent a roster full of, I guess you could say, guys based upon their potential. Let's go with that. All right, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics, and Kemba Walker. They're all going to be teammates next year. Brook Lopez is a big man on that team. Okay. Miles Turner is a big man on that team, and Mason and Parmalee is a big man on that team. Then you got Donovan Mitchell. Now Donovan Mitchell is he's an up and coming superstar. He isn't I wouldn't say he's at a superstar level yet, but he's in that tier to where he's on his way to being a bona fide NBA superstar. And then after that, you got just a bunch of role guys. Basically, they got Harrison Barnes on that team. Middleton was on that team. Just a bunch of role guys. That's it. So it's not shocking that they lose to a team like France. Or it's not shocking that they lose to Serbia. Or it's not shocking that they have to go into overtime in a previous game in the pool play. Look at Greece. Greece has the best player in the world. The best player in the NBA, my bad, because he won according to the 2017, 2018 season. So it's really interesting that everybody's all up in arms in regards to this team losing. And I don't know what for. USA's just not that. They didn't send our best players. There was no Devin Booker, and I heard about they not happy with Devin Booker and all this mess. Man, Devin Booker has the right to take off for the summer if he didn't want to play. There was no Devin Booker. There's no Dame Leonard. There's no C.J. McCollum. Trying to think of some other young superstars that possibly could have made somewhat of a difference on that team. There's no Kyrie Irving. Who else? You couldn't. Clay couldn't go because he's hurt. Steph definitely wasn't going to go. He's been there, done it. He ain't doing it. James Harden's been there, done it. He ain't doing it. LeBron's not going. Been there, done it. They didn't even want Carmelo. They told him no. So I should be no shock in what happened at the FIBA World Cup. That's what it's called, the FIBA World Cup. So I don't see anything to be even remotely upset about or really to even care about. Who cares? I just really don't. I'm sorry. I don't even care about them, even about NBA players still playing in the Olympics, to be honest with you. I would like to see, even if it's just the U.S., everybody else could send their best or whatever. But I would like to see something that I heard proposed. I don't know if it'll come true or not, or if it'll actually happen, that, under 23 roster. You let them build up and play together for a couple of years, and maybe that'll be a difference. Hey, I think it would. Maybe you'll get younger guys to be committed to it because, they'll be able to play against guys that are their peers and their age group, and of course, guys in the league at the same time frame they in. So I think it would be an outstanding idea to let that happen. I mean, we still produce some of the best basketball talent in the world. It's just that our top stars are just not that interested in it. And to be honest with you, that roster should have been good enough to compete, at least for a medal. But it didn't. Is it a make or break? No. This isn't soccer. This isn't. We're not Brazil. We're not the equivalent to what Brazil would be in soccer. Like, Brazil expects their soccer team to win every international tournament. They don't care what tournament. They don't care whatever international tournament their soccer team is in. They expect that soccer team to win. The U.S. don't have that type of passion for basketball. If we were playing an international tournament for football, for American-style football, oh, heck yeah, we would expect to win. If we lost, some people be losing their doggone mind. But we don't. It's not that way in basketball. Oh, people get all upset, all up in arms when it happens. But I mean, really, we're not like soccer crazed countries like France and England and Italy and Brazil, Germany, Argentina, Mexico, for crying out loud. I mean, those teams losing international football or soccer tournament. Those fans are not happy. I mean, in Colombia, my goodness, and when the U.S. upset Colombia in the World Cup, I think that was the 94 World Cup. Was it 94, 96? I think it was 94. They upset Colombia. The guy made an own goal in the Colombia in the USA game. That guy ended up losing his life. That's how passionate they are about soccer in Colombia. So we're not that way like that in basketball. You people need to stop it with your fake outrage. You really do. Some of this stuff is just crazy. I just saw that and I just laughed. I was like, really? We doing this? We really do care about the U.S. losing in a tournament most of the people didn't even know what's going on. The average sports fan did not even know. Plus, because one, it's football season. It's our version of football season here in America. And basketball only matters in this country after football season. So nobody was really paying attention to that mess, except for that show they have on the 4-letter network that comes on, and they were paying attention. But nobody else, not the average sports fan. People still trying to fit. People are still predicting their team to go to the Super Bowl after week 1 in the NFL. What caring about the FIBA World Cup? Get out of here. That's foolishness. That's just crazy to me. All right, let's go turn about that now. Speaking of the NFL, let me turn my attention to the NFL. What happened in the week 1 of the NFL season? It's gone. It was no surprises. There were no surprises that happened in week 1 to me. Look, Lamar Jackson threw for 5 touchdowns in game 1. And I know that was shocking to some, and it should be, given, in 7 starts in 2018, he only threw 6 touchdowns. He threw 5 in the first game. But that was against the Dolphins. The Dolphins stink. The Dolphins are trying to stink. The Dolphins are trying to get the number 1 pick in the draft next year. And the Baltimore Ravens are a good football team. The Miami Dolphins are not. And given the game plan the Dolphins had in there, they were like, look, this guy can't throw. We're going to make sure they can't run. We're not going to let Mark Ingram go off on us. We're going to make him prove he can throw the ball. He proved he can throw it. So after the first 3 touchdowns, they still didn't adjust. They still made no adjustment. So he ended up with 5 touchdowns. It's a shocking stat, but to me, it's just not a surprise. The Dolphins the Dolphins are so bad. The players supposedly, because Brian Flores, their coach, was actually about possibly that some players want out because they believe the organization is tanking. It took them that long to figure that out. After that beat down they took to the Ravens, they didn't know that when they saw Laramie Tunsil walk out the door. When they traded Laramie Tunsil, when they traded Kenny Stills, they let Kiko Alonso go. They didn't realize that. We're going to stink this year. Hello. Sorry. You didn't realize that? I mean, it took you to lose to the Ravens to realize that y'all are going to stink and you're tanking? It's just crazy. That was funny. I laughed at that one. I did the Pats. Yeah, Tom Brady and the Pats just beat down the Steelers. By 30. Is the score surprising? I guess you could say it wasn't surprising to me because I didn't think the Steelers were going to be no good anyway. There's no AB there. No matter whatever you think of him, he is an outstanding football player. He's a horrible person from the way he does things, I would say, off the field. But on the field, he's an outstanding football player. And he wasn't on the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 1, and he will not be for the entire year. And that stupid narrative that the media tried to portray that the Steelers are going to be better. The Steelers, they're going to be better this year because they don't have AB as a distraction. Yeah, he was a big distraction in that 30-point beatdown. Just crazy. No AB, no Le'Veon Bell, and just Big Ben and Juju Smith-Schuster. How did that work out? Whooping. They got beat. And then all these people out here, let me just say this real quick about the AB thing and should he play this week with the Patriots. I think the Patriots should play him. Why not? They play everybody else that got a checkered pass. There's an article written by Stephen Giller from the Boston Herald back on August 22nd, 2019. That article is titled, "Check These Patriots Checkered Passed Out." The first person that he mentions in his article is the owner, Robert Kraft, and solicited sex down in Florida. That charge. That's the first thing he mentions as an example. And then he goes on to mention some other players and things of that nature. The New England Patriots are about solely winning football games. That's it. They've taken on guys that have questionable characters that did things that are questionable character wise in the real world, but they were talented football players. It's just crazy to me. And I expected, but just because of ethics, do the right thing, sit him down. The lady that charging him, she didn't even meet with the NFL yet. She just put it out there to let Eric. She just made the civil lawsuit, not a criminal, but a civil lawsuit. And the right thing ethically is to sit Antonio Brown. How about you sit down and watch the game like you do anyway? You've been watching the game all these. People been watching these games in the NFL all these other years. The NFL's had criminals. There's been a guy who had a DUI, and still played in the league. And I think let me see, it was a linebacker. He had a DUI, killed somebody, and he still played in the league. Guy ran over a homeless man. He was still on an NFL roster. Guys have been charged with sexual assault in different instances before, and they still are in the league, or domestic abuse. They still play in the league. They have questionable character. They still play in the league. If you can help a team win in the N, the F, and the L by any means necessary, they play. And the Patriots are prime examples of it. Bill Belichick wants to win. Doesn't care nothing about y'all doggone moral high ground. He just wants to win. And I agree with Bill Belichick. I don't care about these. See, that's the thing. People put these doggone athletes up on these darn pedestals. They expect these people to be high character people because their talent is great. No. I don't need that. I just need your butt to score a touchdown. That's what I need you to do. Score touchdowns. If you play for my NFL team, if you are a Miami Dolphin, the team that I root for, I need you to score touchdowns on Sundays when I watch the game. I don't care what you do the rest of the week. If you play for the Miami Heat, I need you to score buckets. I need you to get rebounds. I need you to play defense. I don't care about your personal life. That has nothing to do with me. And for all you people out there, well, what about the kids? Their parents should be telling them doggone, should be giving them the proper things to do, not some darn NFL player. Man don't even know your child. What the heck should he be a role model for? I'm like Charles Barkley. I'm not a role model. All athletes should have that same motto. I'm not a role model. And parents should have that same motto. He's not a role model. He's a fantastic athlete that's playing a professional sport. You admire his talent for what he can do for your team or aspire to be like him for his talent, but not as a person. So that's the way I look at it. Score a touchdown for the Dolphins. Shoot. Whatever else you do outside your personal life, that's your business. Ain't got nothing to do with me. That's just like that's like caring about their sex. I don't care who you have sex with. Who cares? I care less about that mess. Score touchdowns for the Miami Dolphins. That's what I care about. Make buckets for the Miami Heat. That's what Will cares about as far as sports. They did after that game goes off. You know what happens? The real world still happens. I still got everything in my daily life that I got to deal with. After that game, I'm entertained for the 3 hours that is on, and that's it. I am not hardly freaking worried about what Antonio Brown is doing when he is not playing football, or what Dan Marino was doing when he was not playing football. Well, I take that back. When I was a kid, yes, I looked up to him, but when I became a man and I realized, you know what, that junk is entertainment, because guess what, people? These people still get paid whether or not they win or lose a game. They still get paid. You sit there, called it. I know of a guy. He will call into work when his team loses. That is the dumbest damn thing to me ever. I just don't understand that. It's entertainment. You have no say in the outcome. It's just entertainment. I'm sorry. That's just the way I see it. You cannot agree, and you're entitled to your opinion. But for me, and what Antonio Brown does not make or break my life. It's great for this show because it gets you guys to click on it. So I put it in the description so you guys can click on it. And another thing, I want to answer to an email that I got. Somebody said, well, you need to do it this way so you can get more clicks. And I really very rarely mention emails that I get or any type of bitches that I get through Twitter or whatever. The day I do this show to please people and to get clicks will be the last day I do this show. I do not do this show to get clicks. I don't get rich off this. I do it because I like it, I love it, and I love giving my opinion about sports. Point blank, period. I appreciate the advice. So keep listening. But I promise you, I don't do this show for clicks. Oh, I post it on social media. I want people to hear my opinion. But my day and my night will not end if you do not click on it. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to go to work, and it's just that simple. Just saying. I thought I'd respond. That's the only time I've ever responded to an email. I really don't respond to emails. All right, anyway, that's what I saw in week one. Of course, and then these last couple of things, the Saints came back against the Texans. Let me say the Texans need to do something about that offensive line. Deshaun Watson looks like he's going to be a good player, but he can't keep getting that beating like he got on Monday night. That's not going to work. I didn't see anything. Like I said, no surprises in week one that's going to change my opinion. I don't like the Dallas Cowboys before the season started. My opinion has not changed since then. Kudos for Dak for improving. Whippy-dippy-doo. And I know the Dallas Cowboys also moved the needle. Because there are a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans in this country. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are going to do anything. I just don't. That's just my opinion. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are the class of the NFC and the NFC East, whether that in the same division as Dallas Cowboys. I didn't see nothing from the LA Rams that changed my opinion. Again, no surprises. I said New England, Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. I'm not going by anything that happened in the week one that's going to say, okay, yeah, those two teams are definitely making the Super Bowl, except for New England with AB. They're just absolutely unstoppable, in my opinion. But really, nothing in week one changed my opinion. Week two, college football. Hey, great game between Burrow and Ellinger, that duel they had down in Austin. Let me say this in regards to college football, and then I'm going to get out of here because I'm just going to give you my thoughts on some games real fast in regards to just my picks. It's like this. The SEC has 5 teams, in my opinion. They have 5 teams. Auburn, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. Those 5 teams. 2 of those teams on the same side on the east, that's Georgia and Florida, and three of those teams on the west side. I've been saying this before this season started, and I'm going to keep saying the same thing. If the SEC gets 2 undefeated teams in their SEC championship, both of those teams are going to that bowl playoff thing that they have. Both of them are going. It's that simple. And a lot of that is because all the other conferences don't really have 2 teams in their conference. Because if I break this down like this, I just gave you 5 teams from the SEC. I'm going to give you 4 other teams that I think, 5 other teams that I think that possibly matter, maybe a 6th team. All right, in the ACC, of course, it's Clemson. They're the defending national champion. They look like they'll be back there. All right, in the Big Ten, you're looking at Ohio State. Yeah, I know everybody's jumping on Wisconsin. They beat nobody. They ran up and down the field against South Florida and whoever else. Some other little wacky school they played last week. Michigan just struggled with the Service Academy. They're not no good. Jim Harbaugh's overrated. Point blank, period. He couldn't beat Ohio State when Urban Meyer was there, and I don't think he'll beat him this year. I just don't. And then you got Penn State. Everybody's jumping on Penn State. Okay, whatever. I'm not going there with Penn State. But anyway, it's Ohio State. That's the only team in the Big Ten. Okay, so that's another school. Then you go to the Big 12. They got 2 schools. They got Texas and Oklahoma. Texas does look like a legit team. They play LSU toe-to-toe. Honestly, just came up short. Oklahoma has Jalen Hurts, and they're just running up and down the field again. They're going to run up and down the field again, just like they did under Kyler Murray, just like they did under Baker Mayfield. They're just going to keep running up and down the doggone field because the Big 12 defenses stink. That offense is just, it seems like it's unstoppable. Looks like that guy Lincoln Riley can put anybody back there, quarterback that's even halfway decent of a quarterback and can throw the ball. Where you can run his offense, or he'll make a way to cater his offense to help you. So that's Oklahoma and Texas. Okay, so that's 4 other schools outside the SEC. And then it's a tie between Notre Dame and Oregon. And honestly, Oregon doesn't even matter because they lost to Auburn. Or Oregon doesn't matter. Anything else coming from the left coast doesn't matter. I'm sorry, California, and I know I got a lot of listeners out there. I appreciate that love, but y'all don't have any real legitimate college football teams that's going to really do any major damage. You had your shot. You lost it week 1. When they let Auburn come back. I'm talking about Oregon. You get 1 loss, and the SEC has 2 undefeated schools, you're done. You're out. And especially if Notre Dame loses to Georgia and beats everybody else on their schedule, if they lose to Georgia, which they should do because Georgia's a good football team, and plus the game's in Georgia, but they beat everybody else, Notre Dame can make an argument that they should be in the bowl playoff thing. So I just told you there's possibly 5, 5, possibly 6 schools that outside of the SEC that's got it. Everybody else, you don't even matter. You just don't matter. Your fan base is just go to the game to tailgate. Y'all just go to the game to tailgate. That's it. Enjoy the game. And like me, I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan. I just want to watch the team because I love the U. I don't expect them to win anything. I just don't. But I love the U, so I'm going to watch the game because I'm a fan. But expecting them to win a championship? Nope. Don't do it. Ain't looking for it. But going into this week, I'm going to tell you, Pittsburgh and Penn State will be a decent game. I'm not picking that game. That would be a very interesting game to watch. One of the games that I am getting ready to pick, well, I'll wait to get my pick. But, yeah, Pittsburgh and Pitt's going to be very interesting. I mean, that's a game because Penn State's getting all this love, but Pitt always gives them a little trouble, and I don't expect anything different. I think Pitt's gonna give them a little bit more of a headache. Then you got a game between Washington. I think that game's between Washington and Houston. That should be interesting. That's a Friday night game. after the game that I'm going to pick. But there's another game that kind of got my attention this week, and I was like, oh, that might be something. USC BYU. USC true freshman came in after JT Daniels went down. He did very well in that game against Stanford. So should be Iowa State, Iowa. Interesting. That's going to be something worth watching. I know people don't want to follow. I know most of the people in the South, you don't follow that type of stuff. Florida State's going to Virginia. I don't know what Florida State's going to do. They gave Virginia a 25. They say Virginia's one of the 25 best teams in the country. I don't know. I don't know. I know Florida State's not. I know that much. Florida State's got great frontline people. They just ain't got no depth. And if they come out and try to run up and down the field against that Virginia defense, that defense is senior laden. Those kids been there for years. And James Blackman, he struggled against Louisiana Monroe. Not gonna be pretty this weekend for the young man, in my opinion. Just one man's humble opinion. All right, let me get to these picks. I'm just gonna like rapid fire run right through the picks for this week. My 5 games that I am interested in watching. So I'm gonna give you my picks real fast. All right, gonna start with North Carolina in their game going up against Wake Forest. North Carolina beat my Miami Hurricanes last week. Wake Forest is also 2-0. This game is in Winston, North Carolina. I really can honestly say I'm very impressed with North Carolina's true freshman quarterback, Sam Howell. But Wake Forest just plays very well in Winston-Salem at home. So I'm going to go with Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest will be able to handle that game pretty easily. All right, Stanford is going to make their travels all the way out here from the left coast. They're going to be in Orlando playing against UCF. I don't really know what to say about this game. I really don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't know because I'm not totally sold on UCF, but I don't think Stanford is good either, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to pretty much just take this as one of them situations where I look at it and say, all right. I think Stanford is going to find a way to slow the game down because they're a physical football team and they'll win. And then the last game in college football that I want to look at is going to be Arizona State versus Michigan State. Listen, Herm Edwards has his team 2-0. Michigan State's 2-0. They're always a very good, disciplined football team. They play good, hard-nosed defense, just enough offense to win ball games. Michigan State I'm referring to. They're always competitive in the Big Ten. I remember even one year they even won. Made it to the Big Ten championship game. But anyway, Arizona State seems to be trending in the right direction under Herm Edwards. So this should be a very interesting ball game. It's going to tell whether or not Arizona State is legit, but I think Michigan State handles them at home. And then finally, over to the NFL, you got the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers were absolutely just mollywopped last week, as I mentioned earlier. In Boston, I don't see anything that's going to change my mind this week about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, they don't have a top player. Juju Smith-Schuster is seeing coverage like he never seen before. AB made life easier. No AB, no win. So I'm going to go with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. And then finally, the last game I'm going to pick is going to be between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Like I said, the Texans come off that Monday night loss. Minshew is the quarterback now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as Mr. Nick Foles is not available. He is hurt. He's going to be out at least till week 11. Tough loss for them. But again, I didn't believe in the Jacksonville Jaguars before the season started. So I don't see a reason to, change that, or retract on that predicament right there. So I'm going to look at it like this. I think Houston wins at home over Jacksonville. So that's my thought. Those are my picks for this week. Those are the 5 games that I'm going to be interested in watching. Last week, I was able to go 4-1. Not bad. I liked it. I could have done better. I could have done better, but I went with the doggone Green Bay Packers. I went with the Chicago Bears and Mitchell Trubisky over Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. The Packers defense did look good, but hey, it is what it is. But that's the only game I lost last week. All right, that's my time, and that is it. I am ready to get up out of here. I really appreciate everybody that takes the time to, again, download and listen to the show. Again, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WWS_sports show. Also, again, on so many different platforms across the internet. You can listen to me on Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher. Apple users can listen to me on iTunes, and Android users can actually just listen to the show on Google Play Podcasts, and also on Spreaker.com, be it the website or mobile. Thank you so much. Facebook, you can listen to me. You can also follow my Facebook page, Will's Take on Sports on Facebook. Again, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the love. Let's just say a prayer for somebody, because prayer changes things. Y'all be easy.